Good day to you gamers, this is AiHEADHUNTER and I'm gonna present you a PvP replay where I am playing my special counter against Phoenix based builds. Phoenixes in PvP are being pretty popular right now, and I wanted to show you my counter a long time ago, but I still couldn't get a decent replay for the strategy, because when I was playing against Phoenixes, I either get like blind counter, DT Blast with 4 gates or Blink Rush or something, or I did something completely useless like Colossus. So it wasn't, I think it wasn't good replay for making video to present something that should happen to you when you're playing. But this is finally something that is useful. My opponent is Czech player Thebis, and he has been inactive for a long time, so it's not really a strong opponent for me, and the quality of the game is I would say a little bit lower, but the strategy is useful on different levels too, so I think it's in the end not that important that my opponent is a little bit weaker. So map is Chakras, and I scouted my main and my natural and the place between the two player spots for proxy gates. After that, I think I'm gonna back my probe because I don't need to scout anymore. I'm gonna play a Roxky's Freyr opening. This is high economy and little bit later gas opening that leads into Blink Observer, and I think it's really solid and really my favorite opening, I would say. So 2 probes on each mineral, and then a rally point into my assimilator, and you can see that I was mining with 1 probe, then 2 probes, and only then with the 3 probes. But in the meantime, I'm chrono boosting my zealot, and I'm gonna make 2 zealots because I won't have enough gas for warp gate and a stalker right away. And yeah, the rally point was, well, I would say lucky, because the probe got stuck and died only against the zealot. In the meantime, I made my second assimilator, and long time ago I was setting a rally point even in the second assimilator, but the income of gas was really low, and I missed a few gas. I would say, you know, I just didn't have enough gas later. So in the second assimilator I am sending 3 probes right away, and it's still a good economy based, you know, mineral based opening. So 2 zealots. First zealot was boosted, then stalker. Stalker should be boosted also in case your opponent is forgating and trying to get as close as your main as possible to plant proxy pylon, so you need early stalker. Second stalker doesn't need to be chrono boosted. After second stalker there is a sentry, and then there is warp gate. So 3 gates, twilight cancel, an additional pylon, and shortly after that a robo. So that's 3 gate, blink stalker, observer. That's well, is it even standard? It used to be standard, and it should be the strategy that that should be safe against everything, and that should be able to punish everything. Of course, it depends on how you play, how you micro, how you utilize your blink stalkers, and so on. So right now I'm able to hold both of the Xel'Nagas tower. That maybe it's not as usual, because usually when you have 2 zealot opening, you put yourself in defense mode, and you are able only to hold your natural ramp and maybe poke with the stalkers if there is some pylons nearby, and usually you're not able to hold Xel'Nagas in the middle of the map and so on. But also the shadows near the Xel'Naga towers really help, because the free stalkers can't really hit 2 zealots and let's say 1 stalker, because they have to go into the shadows and get hit by the zealots. So that's something that is working for you on this map. I was able to spot his scouting probe and take it out. That's really important because the probe was 100% going to make proxy pylon. In the meantime, I'm surprised by his phoenixes, and he already killed a few probes, but for some reason he wasn't able to lift the sentry and kill it. So at least I saved the sentry. The amount of workers is still very good because my opening was really economy based, so even though I lost 2 probes, it still didn't mean anything. What is important right now is if my opponent is making robo or not. Here I would say it's a mistake for me to make Nexus as fast as I did. When you're playing against Phoenixes, you have to check if your opponent is making robo. If he is not in fact making robo, you shouldn't expand that early, because the 4-gate Phoenix all-in would most definitely kill you. But if he has a robo, the 1 base all-in would be later, and you can afford to go early expansion. Basically you can expand as soon as you see that he has Phoenixes and robo. That's the time you should expand. So I did the expansion a little bit earlier, but again that is maybe because I was really confident against my opponent. And what is the significant change in the strategy is that I'm making Templar archives. That's something I think you don't see very often, and that's the my counter that I was talking about. I'm gonna make a few High Templars, keep them in my base, and try to feed back the Phoenixes and then morph them into Archons. And I think it's really it's cost effective, and it really reverses the well, I have to say the situation when you play against Phoenixes, because the Phoenixes gets cost effective as the time is progressing, because they gather mana, and the more mana, the more snipes, the more dead probes or something. And when your opponent is playing Phoenixes, he is still getting free kills and getting more and more cost effective. But when you make High Templars, you reverse the situation. You can see that not only you feed back all of his mana, but sometimes you are able to even kill the Phoenix or do significant damage. You prevent him from harassing, and you have an Archon, which is in general a good unit in PvP. Obviously I'm not gonna take into the Colossus even in late game, and then that's the one downside, because if your opponent is camping really for a long time and he's like messing Colossus and you don't have Colossus, you have Chargelot, Archon, Immortal, your army gets weaker. But I still have a plan for how to deal with this. I have to stay economically ahead. I made my first expansion earlier, and when I'm sure that he is making Colossi and he wants to camp a strong dead ball, I'm gonna make my third base, second expansion, quite early and force him to react, to either attack prematurely or just to get economically behind, and which is an opportunity for me to make, you know, higher supply, more army, more gateways, and be able to reinforce my army, and maybe to even beat Colossus-based army with non-Colossus army. It's possible in good position, believe me. When you have Chargelot, Archons and Immortals, you can still beat army that has even up to 10 Colossi. It is very much possible. So 2 High Templars waiting in my mineral line. Obviously sometimes it's very hard to react fast enough when the Phoenixes arrives in your main. You have to immediately select the High Templars and feedback and morph them into Archons. As you can see, I wasn't fast enough and I lost 2 High Templars. And 2 High Templars means 300 gas, and that really changes everything. If I didn't kill the 2 Phoenixes with my Stalkers, I would be really angry, and it would really defeat the purpose of the defense with High Templars. But luckily I was able to kill 2 Phoenixes, so exchanging 2 High Templars for 2 Phoenixes is almost equal. I was able to check that or verify that he has made Colossi, which means that he's gonna be very passive, and as I was saying, I need to stay economically ahead. I know that as the time will go by, his dead ball will be really strong. He will have Colossi against no Colossi, but I could equalize the fact by making some upgrades and expanding earlier, harassing, and getting a lot of gateways to reinforce my army. And it is very much possible to beat Colossi when you're in good position. And again, I didn't react enough and lost the High Templar, and this only shows that it's really hard to play like this, and it's really good in theory, but in practice you really have to watch your minimap. But right now I did it correctly. I fed back both of the Phoenixes and morph the High Templars into Archon, and that's how you should do it. And in meantime, I killed a few workers too. If we check workers killed, I even killed more probes than he has. So I know he is aware of my 3rd expansion, so it's possible that he's gonna attack soon. So I need to have a good amount of gateways ready, and this is a mistake. I have a lot of minerals and not enough gateways, so I wasn't really prepared for his attack so soon. This is a mistake. I should have at least 10 gateways, maybe even 12. And you can see that I'm making 4 gateways now, but it's gonna take 1 minute before they finish, and this is a really scary time because I have no way how to spend my minerals. I have some charge lots, Archons, and there's also one thing that I forget, and those are Immortals. I should have made few Immortals in my Robo, and I wasn't thinking about it. Right now I'm moving in a good position. This is a good position for Charge Lot, Archon, army. You could see that Stalkers are really not cost effective against Charge Lots, and I'm able to blink from the side and even focus the Colossi, and this is really... he made it easy. This is an easy win because he attacked in really bad position. So this is maybe also advice for those of you who plays Phoenixes. When you play Phoenixes and you go into Colossi and you find yourself in a situation when you have Colossi against no Colossi or significantly lower amount of Colossi, you should always pay attention to your army and select only the position where you can really utilize the range of Colossi, and you can't get surrounded by charge lots. That means he should be moving like this to be protected by the cliffs by the side, and definitely not attack in the open field like this. He should be attacking, from the side here on the expansion, then go back, go here, attack maybe from this side, and so on. But even there, it's possible to win with Chargelot Archon if you are economically ahead, if you have the expansion earlier. So High Templars against Phoenixes requires really fast reaction, but it can be worth it, and it's my favorite way to play against Phoenix harassment. Thank you for watching.